Hi, I'm Pam, and this is my monthly update video letting you know everything that I was up to in the month of May. Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. It's finally, well, it should be June by the time you see this, but the weather has finally gotten nice. I replaced my ring light, so now you can see me again when I make these videos. I feel like as we're heading into summer, there are a ton of good games releases. I'm just being absolutely bombarded with emails for Steam keys and demos and previews to check out. A lot of them look really interesting, and I just only have enough time to play so many of them, but lots of really great games coming out lately, some of which I won't be able to talk about until later because I haven't finished them yet, but it's a good time for gaming, but also a very busy one. As far as updates go, it was pretty slow on the channel again last month just because of how busy I was with everything else, so I didn't get as many videos out as I wanted to. Hopefully, maybe that will turn around in June. There was a new episode of Point and Drink Adventure that Michelle and I did. That came out a couple weeks ago. We had a ton of movies to talk about, as well as a bunch of games. You'll hear me talk about most of the games. Michelle talked a lot about Saros, which is a follow-up to Returnal, which is one of her new favorite games. So if you want to hear about Saros, definitely check that out. I feel like the Xbox or non-PlayStation users have gotten like a discount Returnal in the new game Luna Abyss that just came out. So I'm getting a little bit of the bullet hell shooty action, but not much. Check out that episode of Point and Drink Adventure if you want to know more. Alright, let's get right into all of the games that I played in May. The first game I finished is Grim Fandango, which was a replay for me. This is one I didn't play as like a kid when it came, as a teenager I guess, when it came out. I played it sometime between 5 and 10 years ago for the first time. I had never streamed it before, so I decided I was going to stream it for Adventure Sundays over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/cannotbetamed, in case you don't know about it. And yeah, I played this one on Xbox, so it was actually the Double Fine remaster. I think this is really the way to do a remaster. Same like with Full Throttle. The art style is just like a little bit smoother, but everything just really retains the spirit of the original game, which I really like. And I know a lot of people love Grim Fandango, and it has wonderful music, great writing, it's very funny, I really like the characters, the story is interesting, and the puzzles are like 80% garbage. I know that there's not a single classic adventure game in existence that doesn't have at least one incredibly stupid puzzle, but this game has a lot of incredibly stupid and annoying puzzles in it. There's like a handful that are like, oh yeah, this is clever, and a bunch that are just like, why? Why would you do this to me? It's like you're specifically going out to trick the player, and that's just mean. So yeah, Grim Fandango, aesthetically amazing. Gameplay-wise, don't love it. The next game is one of my most anticipated ones from this year. It is John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos. It just came out in 2026 by Saber Interactive, and my 4-person co-op group has been eagerly anticipating this one. It's made by the same people who made World War Z, which is our favorite group game to play. This one, we were all pretty satisfied with it, I think. I'm happy to say that we weren't disappointed. We really liked the game. It does things a little bit differently, whereas World War Z is more of a very carefully created levels and you go through the campaign. This is a number of sort of big open world areas, and each has their own objectives that you do, but you can go through the open world in any way you choose. There's optional stuff, you can do it, you can not do it, but it's generally a good idea to get better geared up as you go in order to survive the end of the level. Since they're very big levels, one of the big things in this game is that there's a lot of vehicles, and all 4 of you can go in the vehicle. One of you can drive. There's often like a flamethrower or a turret gun. The other peoples can like shoot out the windows. So it's really fun going through, driving the game, running over zombies, shooting them from the car. Their weapons are all really good. Like the shooting felt excellent, and I really liked how the end of each level culminated in a big sort of horde attack where you have to use the resources that you collected through the game, and you could build up defenses like auto turrets or stationary turrets, electrical grids on the ground, barbed wire fences, things like that. Overall, I thought it was really fun. I hope they put out some new content and some new levels over the next couple years, because I would definitely go back to it. But we finished the campaign and we had a lot of fun. If you're looking for a good 4-player online co-op game, I definitely recommend John Carpenter's Toxic Commandos. The next game I played is Hell Is Us, and this was developed by Rogue Factor. It came out in 2025, and I had heard the name floating around a bunch last year, but for some reason the title, Hell Is Us, made me think that this was going to be some kind of like asynchronous horror game like Dead by Daylight or something, which it absolutely is not. And then I saw it popping up on a number of people's best of lists, and I thought, okay, I should check this game out. And what it is a third-person action adventure game, but one that is very reliant on you paying attention and doesn't hold your hand in terms of determining what you need to do or where you need to go. So this game takes place on like an alternate version of Earth. There's this place called Hedea who's been locked in civil war basically forever. There's these 2 cultural groups that have just been murdering each other throughout all time. And you play a peacekeeper who is originally from Hedea, and you go in trying to sort of remember your past and find out about your parents. And it's all set with like an overarching story thing of him being questioned by someone at some point. And it's melee combat, so you have, I think, there's really 4 different weapons. There's like dual axes, a big sword, a normal sized sword, and one more, like a polearm, which is the one that I actually liked using the most. And then each of them has a certain elemental ability to it. You're fighting these really cool looking monsters because all of the war and strife in this country has caused this calamity to happen. So there's these really cool creatures that are like white figures with like that look kind of like topographic maps with the lines on them and have holes in them, and you're fighting these things. And as you go through, you have this little handheld device where you can take notes. You have little mind maps talking about each of the objectives you have, giving you information, finding lore items about the world that tells it more. And you're just going through exploring these really cool, interesting environments, talking to people, helping them out. There's these little side quests to help out people and do good in the world. And you really do need to pay attention. There's no waypoint markers. Though useful information is written down, you need to like pay attention. It's like, oh, go find the blacksmith. It's past the blue house on the right. There, so you have to like look around and see. And the level design, especially in the outdoor areas, is really brilliant. Just the way that things are sort of signposted without overtly being like right here. Like it's just a very readable environment, so that if you are paying attention to what people are telling you, it's not too difficult to find out what you need to do. But I really enjoyed that a lot of the quests, you'd get a sort of side quest and it's like, oh, my baby is hungry. My baby has no food, what am I gonna do? And so you need to find milk for the baby, but it's not like, oh, go down to this guy and get milk. You have to sort of remember, have I seen milk anywhere in the game? Maybe there's someone who could help me out with this. So it's just like really interesting kind of quests that make you use your brain a little more. I have a tendency to multitask and not entirely pay attention in things, and I really enjoyed that this game forced me to like be in the moment. Like, you're playing this game, listen to what people have to say, have the sound up, don't have a podcast playing, just like be in the moment. And if I ever felt like my brain wasn't capable of that right now, then I would just do something else, because I knew that I would get lost if I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, I enjoyed the game a lot. I thought the combat was fun. I thought the exploration was excellent. And yeah, if you are looking for a third-person action that has a bigger emphasis on story and lore and sort of figuring things out for yourself, then I definitely recommend Hell Is Us. The next game I played is Call of the Elder Gods. This just came out last month. It is by Out of the Blue Games, and it is the follow-up to the game Call of the Sea. This is a Lovecraftian adventure game that really focuses on puzzles. In this, you're playing a character who's studying at Miskatonic University, and her professor goes missing, and she ends up... Oh, also the whole time she's had weird sort of cosmic dreams about her father, about weird gods and weird things happening. And so the professor and the woman end up sort of going on an adventure to find these elder gods. And it's not, as much as it is a Lovecraft-inspired game, I would not call anything about this game horror. Like, it's a very beautiful, bright game. The environments are lovely, just vivid colors everywhere. And even in terms of story, maybe this is a little bit of a spoiler, but the Elder Gods, like, they're not bad. They're unknowable, but they're not bad. Like, it's got some really cool, like, sci-fi concepts in it, but none of them are, like, super scary or threatening or malicious. So it's kind of like taking a bit of this mythology, but presenting it in a much lighter and more friendly way. And this is basically a puzzle game. You'll be going through different environments. The puzzles start out fairly easy in terms of like figuring out the order things need to go on by looking at paintings and newspaper articles. And then as you go on, things get a little more and more strange as you're finding different environments that are a little bit more alien. And a couple of the puzzles I did find pretty tricky at the end. There is an in-game hint system. Well, there's an in-game walkthrough. I would have much preferred like a hint system. It's more of a, this is what you do if you ask for help. So just beware of that. But I thought for the most part, the puzzles were good. The voice acting was excellent. I enjoyed the story. The puzzles they had sort of had a range from a little bit too easy to a little bit too hard. Again, your mileage will probably vary on that. But yeah, if you are into the sort of escape roomy type of puzzles, but that you do by yourself in a game with a really nice narrative, then Call of the Elder Gods is very good. And because apparently there's not enough new games on my plate right now, I decided I was going to replay the Mass Effect trilogy. I'm not sure what popped into my brain that was like, play Mass Effect, but that's what I decided to do. So I played through the first Mass Effect. This was originally released in 2007. It's almost 20 years old. Oh my god. I hadn't played the Legendary Edition before. I'd played through the whole trilogy a number of times, like the originals, but I'd never played the Legendary Edition, so I decided to do that. BioWare game, obviously. And man, that game has such a good opening. I love Shepard so much, specifically Jennifer Hale's Shepard. I've never been able to get through a game as male Shep, but Shepard's amazing. I love all of her conversation options. I love her renegade options. The characters in the game are so good. It does such a good job of like taking a third-person shooter and making it cinematic in a way that's interesting to watch but doesn't make you feel like you're just watching a movie. I really like it. There's obviously a number of ways in which the game has kind of aged in just gameplay wise that are a little annoying. Like I played a Vanguard. I because that was my favorite class. And I didn't realize that in Mass Effect 1, they don't have a charge ability. So like, there's no reason to have a shotgun if you can't charge in and use your shotgun. I also found the pistol way outperformed every other gun for me. Combat was interesting in that everything was like, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Oh, I've been one shot by a sniper. So interesting combat. Also, not very good at auto-saving your game, even in the Legendary Edition. So I quickly learned to save often, which I don't generally think of something I have to do on consoles. But yeah, save often if you're playing Mass Effect 1. Yeah, really liked it. Decided to try to go a different way, romance Liara this time. I think when I think back about Mass Effect, I kind of conflate the entire trilogy, because as I was playing this one, I found that there wasn't actually as much conversation as I remember with each of your crewmates in between missions. I was kind of like wanting a little bit more. I feel like they get more chatty as the series goes on. But I had a really good time with Mass Effect. They had made some nice updates to the Mako, which was nice. But I like just running around the planets, exploring things, scanning, finding all the side quests. I love the Citadel. So really enjoyed playing Mass Effect again, and I'm looking forward to playing 2, which is my favorite of the series. And the last game I finished, shockingly, my co-op group finished 2 games in May. I feel like we rarely ever finish games now. We played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, and this originally came out in 2023 by Super Evil Megacorp. And this is a Hades-like, but with Ninja Turtles. You have your base in the sewers, you collect various types of currency to level up your characters in different ways. As you go through each room in the dungeon, you get various upgrades, although the upgrades are different. Like sometimes you get an ability upgrade, and sometimes it's just like pick between this currency and this currency, or this temporary buff and this currency. And it's sometimes disappointing when you don't get like a real buff as your option. But overall, it was fine. It was, you know, decent enough gameplay. We had a good time fighting the bosses. Sometimes the mini bosses can change up, although generally from run to run, other than your build, things don't change a whole lot. We beat the final boss twice, and we found out that if you want to get like the true ending, I think you need to beat it like 8 times, and we had no interest in beating it 8 times, so we called it a win with 2 final boss defeats. But yeah, I liked it. Not super interested in the story, but the gameplay held my attention. I enjoyed the different builds that you could use, like there's fire and water and ninja skills, and they did feel fairly different, or I guess the gameplay didn't feel that different, but like how effective my character was felt different based on the builds. But it was pretty decent. If you like that kind of game, worth giving a shot. If you don't need any more Hades likes, then I don't think there's anything specifically great about this one to make you check it out. But it was a fun enough time with 3 friends. All right, also have a handful of games that I played and retired, either because I didn't like them or because I just felt I had enough. The first one is Black Jacket. This is by Mipumi Games. It came out this year, and Mipumi Games have made some really cool things. The Lion Song is a great game, like a beautiful pixelated narrative adventure game. Black Jacket is taking on like the Balatros of the world. Rather than poker, this is all about blackjack, building up a deck, getting different powers that let you mess with your total or your opponent's total. I played through a few rounds of this, and I just didn't find it very interesting or fun. I did like the narrative element, like you're sort of escaping hell, I think, and you are meeting these characters that you've known in your life, and you're sort of revealing more about yourself with every win. And I liked how they did the narrative element. I just found that Like, I like blackjack. If I'm gonna go to a casino, blackjack's my game. But like, it's not that interesting for a video game where money's not on the line. So yeah, blackjack it was not for me. Another game I tried out was a Mixtape, and this is by Beethoven and Dinosaur. It just came out in May. This is a sort of coming of age, very musical based story about 3 friends at the end of high school. And I played like 20 or 30 minutes and quickly realized it was not my type of game. It sort of goes between, like, it's kind of just a series of mini games set to a story and a lot of music, as has been the bulk of the advertising, just the music involved in this. You're just playing teenagers, and I didn't really get any sense of nostalgia from this. I've kind of always felt like an adult, even when I was a teenager. So looking back, I'm like, I'm not really relating to this. I'm not getting any warm, fuzzy feelings. Actually, the only thing I did get nostalgia for while playing it was Wayne's World, just because of some certain ways where she was like talking direct to camera and introducing music. And the very first thing is you're skateboarding, but they keep yelling, car. I'm like, car, game on.
Car! Car! Game on! Game on!
Mini games. You skateboard, you avoid cars. There's like a French kissing mini game, a Slurpee filling mini game, and I just wasn't interested in it, so I gave up on Mixtape. Another game I checked out is called Speed Freeks, and this is a Warhammer 40k game. This is by Caged Element. And this game originally came out for PC in 2025, but it was getting released on consoles this past month, so I got a key for that. And it is a combat racer game. It's actually pretty interesting. You sort of build up your car. There's 2 game modes. The one I liked more had you like race to a point, and then you do a bunch of fighting, and it was interesting. It was fun. I love orcs. They're such a fun group. I love their little accents. I actually took a key because I thought Dylan would like this because he likes everything Warhammer 40k. And I think the base of the game is pretty good, but we did have problems like finding a match. Like, there wasn't a lot of people playing the game, so it has cross-platform and everything, but so it was difficult to find a match. We often found we were getting disconnected in the middle of a match. Honestly, it wasn't ever going to be a game I played for a significant amount of time, but yeah, I just did a race or 2 on my own, and it's fun, but if you don't have anyone to play with, it's hard to play a multiplayer racer. And as always, there are lots of new Metroidvanias coming out. One that I tried is called Clockwork Ambrosia. This is currently only on PC. It is developed by Realmsoft. And I might go back to this at some point. We'll see. It's very nice pixel art game. The pixel art reminds me a lot of Gestalt, I always say it wrong, of Steam and Cinders from a couple years back. You play a character who falls off an airplane or something? I don't know, something happens to her. She finds herself in this weird world, and this is a very weapon-based game. So most of the rewards you're getting are new weapons or mods for your weapons. Like, you've got pistols and rocket launchers. I didn't get too many weapons, and each one has 5 different slots to change how the bullets work or how fast it fires or just all kinds of things. So if you are into gear and modifying your weapons and finding a playstyle that works for you, then this might be interesting. I have to say, I don't find gear interesting in Metroidvanias or many other genres, actually. Sorry, Mass Effect 1. The gear, what a pain in the ass. Just give me the gun I like and auto level it up. I don't need 7 million gear drops. Okay, back to Clockwork Ambrosia. Because it's so focused on gear, I found that every time I found a secret or a treasure chest, it was like, oh, it's a gun mod. Like, I don't want to play with gear. I want to jump and shoot and do things and find secrets. So it played nicely. Like I think the platforming was mostly good, other than the wall jump. Wasn't a fan of the wall jump. You jump on the wall and you just fucking go flying in the other direction. It's a little bit awkward, maybe especially because I just played Before I Go, which has such a like precise, nice, easy, smooth wall jump. But I thought the game was generally okay. Like, I knew it wasn't going to be like my favorite Metroidvania, but I thought it was a decent game. However, I was playing it one day. I think I was off sick. Doesn't matter. I don't need to make excuses about being sick. I loaded up the game and I was just like kind of mindlessly like hitting A, like, okay, let's go, load my game. The problem was that if you mindlessly press A starting at the menu screen, it will say new game, and then it will ask you to pick a slot, and your save slot is probably in slot 1, and it'll be new game, slot 1, go, your save is overwritten. So I lost the like 2.5 to 3 hours of progress I had made. I went to the Steam discussion forums just to see if it happened to anyone else or if I was just like an exceptional dummy, and it had happened to a number of other people. In fact, the day after it happened to me, it got hotfixed, which is nice. I'm glad the developer responded to this so quickly, but my save file was still gone, and I didn't really want to replay the beginning of the game again, so yeah. Might go back to Clockwork Ambrosia in the future, but I need a little cooling off period before I'm willing to start again. And the last game I played some of is Trepang2, Trepang Squared. This is by Trepang Studios. I thought this was a new game, but it actually came out in 2023. I just never heard of it before. And this is a really fun shooter. It's like part boomer shooter, part like horror shooter, like, what are the game? Fear. Dylan and I streamed this one night, and it's super fun. Just like very fast and frenetic. You are this kind of monster, maybe superhuman, escaping this facility. You can sort of cloak to become invisible. You can do stealth kills. You got all kinds of different weapons to use. One of my absolute favorite things that made me cackle with glee every time was coming up behind someone, grabbing them, pulling the pin out of their own grenade, and then shoving them into a group of their friends, and everyone explodes. So much fun. It got difficult for me, at least, after a little while, but really fun game. Not the best streaming game. I'm happy that Dylan and I were streaming it together, just sort of taking turns with the controller, because when I'm playing, it's like so intense. I don't see chat. I have no idea what's going on. I'm not interacting. I'm just like playing the game because it's very intense. And I really liked it. I'm not retiring it because I don't like it, but because we played it on Dylan's account, and I don't want to start again on my own account. But yeah, really fun. If you're looking for a fast-paced, kind of retro style, but still looks really great and controls really great kind of shooter, I definitely recommend Trepang2 Squared, whatever. All right, that is all of my updates for May. Played lots of great games. Playing lots of great games now that I will hopefully be able to talk about in my next video. Let me know what you've been playing, if you have any recommendations for me. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. If you want to see more from me, check out one of my other videos here. I have a Patreon, or you can become a channel member if you want to help support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.